Kitchen Killa!
What's up?
What's going on? Girl, I don't drop my mic.
I see that.
Thank you. So I'm not going to keep you too long here.
Okay.
Because a huge portion of our show is actually having you in the kitchen.
Right.
Which is rare. Not a lot of people get a chance to see that.
Cool.
So let's talk a little bit about you. So you gave me an amazing bio, and I learned a lot about you that I didn't know, and I think nobody probably would have known unless they had an opportunity like this. So I want to talk a little bit about your background. I want to talk about what got you started. Like, how do you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna cook for somebody? You know?
Right.
What's your story?
So I think I woke up pretty early saying I wanted to cook for people, but doing it professionally was something totally different.
Okay.
So I worked in retail and grocery for a long time,
Right,
probably 10 or 12 years. Just kind of find my way, and I did it well. I can't say that I didn't. I did it well. I made decent money doing it. Mm-hmm. But then, long story short, the last company I was working for went out of business, and I literally found myself at home, watching one of those Art Institute commercials. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think I'm going to go to art school. I'm going to go to culinary school. And I was actually in the interview process with another company, okay. And just kind of like figuring out, do I go back and do something I'm not really happy doing, making good money,
right.
or do I go do something I love to do? So I ended up going to culinary school. It was like on the cusp of my 30th birthday.
Wow.
And went to culinary school and started all over. My first culinary job, I was making $10 an hour. And
that's very humbling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh, definitely.
That's very humbling.
But believe it or not, it was the best sleep I had gotten in years.
Really?
Like, I was bringing home probably a fifth or maybe a sixth of what I had been making. And, I was sleeping good at night. I was happy. I was at peace. And for once, I actually loved going to school. I mean, I had tried the whole college thing prior to going to working in retail and grocery, and it wasn't my thing. I struggled with trying to figure out, do I like school? And ultimately it was like, nah, I don't.
It's not School's not for everybody.
Yeah, but then I fell in love with it when I was in culinary school because I was in love with cooking.
What part of it did you fall in love with? Because you already had the background, you already had the passion.
But that was all I had.
Gave you the spark?
All I had was the passion. Was just liking to cook. I had cooked at home, but I had never cooked professionally. I never cooked for anyone outside of my family or people.
Really?
Yeah, and that was it at that point. And so it was just being around other people who had knowledge, being around people who had been cooking in restaurants, being around culinary instructors, and literally just being in professional kitchens. That just kind of was shock and awe for me. And so I wanted to spend the night there. Like, I could not learn enough. I couldn't learn enough. And so it was fun for me, and I loved it. I mean, if it was free, I'd probably still be there. But yeah, so it was fun. It was great. And every bit of it, really, I mean, outside of probably having to go home and actually do homework.
Right.
But, every bit of it was fun for me. I met really great culinary students who were there with me, who I still interact with, and most importantly, culinary instructors who became mentors and leads for jobs in the future. So it was a great experience.
So let me ask you, when you started to go to school and you all of a sudden you were sparked with all of this excitement and you were like, wow, this is different, because as you said, you went to school before, so this is a completely different experience for you.
For sure.
As you were going through school, what were some of the things that you said, you know what, this might be my niche? This is going to be how I'm going to stand out. At what point did you notice that? Did you feel that?
Well, culinary school was a lot about fundamentals, right? It was a lot about how do you cook eggs? How do you use your...
Wait.
Yeah. There was a whole... We took 2 weeks talking about eggs.
On eggs?
Poaching eggs, scrambling eggs, frying eggs, egg omelets. Because those are fundamentals. And if you work in high-end restaurants, if you can't make a French omelet, you're done.
You're right.
So it's very, very important. So we did a lot of that stuff, knife skills, cleanliness, all those things. So at the beginning, it's just about, are you passionate about doing it the right way?
Got it.
And for me, it was sure, because I knew that I needed those fundamentals in order for me to kind of incorporate the things that I felt I could do.
Right.
And so, in the future, it was just about how do I incorporate the fundamentals into what's my thing. And it took a while figuring out what my thing was.
Okay.
But ultimately, it was just sophisticated comfort food. So
That's your thing?
Yeah, so that's my thing.
Sophisticated comfort food.
That's my thing. Yeah.
That's your thing.
That's my thing.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you realized that you found your niche, okay, and you were taking advantage of the things that you were learning there. All right. So now you're there. You're learning. At what point did you realize, or did you have an idea of what your journey was going to be? Did you know that you would be Kitchen Killa, or were you just kind of going through the process? What was that like for you? What was your epiphany? What was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do this.
Well, what I knew was that I did not want to work for anybody.
Hello, say it again.
So, yeah, I mean, I knew that at some point I was going to have to transition into the culinary industry, and I would have to do it and work under people. But having worked so long in retail and being miserable, retail, grocery, and just not being happy, you know, I knew that once I figured it out, that the end goal was not to work for other people.
Right.
So my kind of, I thought my advantage was in culinary schools because I had so much background in multi-unit management and, you know, profit loss and those things. So when it came time to taking those culinary classes that had to do with managing numbers and building menus and cost management and that kind of stuff, I was like above, you know, had shoulders above everyone.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
So you kind of mentioned something that I think when a lot of people think of chefs, they don't think about, which is the business side. So you kind of said some things there. Cost, profit, loss.
Yeah.
So is that something that Kitchen Killa also offers, or is that just something that you?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, when I first started transitioning into culinary with that $10 an hour job, what I found to be my strength was that the place where I was working, I could also manage their numbers. So I instantly became started managing their budget. Creating a budget because they had no budget.
Okay.
And
so
then,
a lot of people have the passion, but they don't have the business drive.
Right, or even just the knowledge or the knowledge to kind of manage those things. Like and that's with most artistries though. If you think about that, right? Like you think about beauticians, right?
Okay.
So you can do hair, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can run a salon. So, you know, the same thing, you can cook, but doesn't necessarily mean you can run a restaurant or run a catering business or, you know, whatever that is.
Being a talent, but just that's it.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine because in the end, you're an artist, right? And that's fine. But I think my strength and what probably separates me from other chefs is that I may not have as much experience in the kitchen professionally as some of these guys have been in kitchens for 15 or 20 years.
Okay.
But I definitely have figured out the business component and how to blend those two to be successful.
Okay, so let's say, and I'm not, just for the record, okay? But let's say that I am a new entrepreneur and I have a passion for cooking, but I am not college educated. I just know how to cook my ass off, right? And I heard about you, or I heard about you through this feed, and I want to come to you. What would that conversation look like?
So my team is a team of chefs. It's not just me. Kitchen Killa Culinary Solutions is a team of chefs. So it's me, but it's also other chefs who can stand in when I'm not there, who are my backup when I am there. And then also we, you know, like you were saying, I offer food service consulting. So we do a number of things.
Food service consulting.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I know I keep stopping you, but this is all new for me. So I want to break it down because if it's new for me, I know it's new for a lot of my viewers. So food consulting, what is that? So that's much of what I talked about before, coming into whether it be a restaurant or a facility that has a commercial kitchen, a residential facility where people live and they feed them, independent charter schools, things like that. We go into facilities that have independent kitchens. Yeah, they have independent kitchens, so we are able to help them manage their costs, help them with product procurement, help them order, help them manage their food costs, labor, staffing, hiring, all of those things. So the things that people don't necessarily think about when they are buying food. It's like, oh, all I got to do is buy food and cook it and serve it. No, but have you managed your shrink? Do you know how much food waste you create off the products that you're buying? So that's a service that we offer. You know what I like about this, and it's making sense to me, and thank you so much for breaking it down like a fifth grader. It's making sense to me because a lot of times you're right, as an artist, you are so consumed with just the craft. And you're good at what you do, and you want to monetize it, but you just don't know where to go. You have no options. You're not quite sure of the outlet or if it's even a service that's offered. So basically what you're saying is that you are a company that if I am a talent, I can come to you and you can monetize my talent.
For
Is that
sure.
correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that, or we can join the Kitchen Killa team and be one of our chefs who go out and do one of our events. We do private events like in-home private dinners. We do dinners for 2, dinners for 20. We do brunches, baby showers, weddings. We are preferred vendors at some of the best venues in South Florida. So weddings for 200. We do corporate events at various companies here in South Florida. So we absolutely can do all of those things.
That's good to know.
For sure.
Thank you for sharing that with my viewers, because I think, you know, when in the producing industry as well, there are a lot of people that, you know, want to do podcasting as an example, and, you know, they speak very well. My best friend, she's amazing. Like, she entertains me via WhatsApp chat every single day, and, you know, but she's not that one that's, you know, as technically savvy. So to find someone that can actually take her passion and monetize it, it's what you do in the culinary side. So let's clap it up for that, guys. I'm thinking that. I'm making nervous. I'm drinking my coffee. Okay, so I want to, we are going to be in the kitchen. So one of the things I wanted to kind of ask you is just, if you don't mind, you know, a little personal. You okay with that? Because this is we're all the way live show.
Okay.
Hey, mama. So, so talk to me about what are some things you cook, or do you even cook at home?
I work a lot. And particularly with the client that I have now, I work a lot.
Okay.
And when I come home, I don't necessarily want to cook, and I'm hardly ever home. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, if you were a teacher and you taught all day, do you want to come home and teach more kids? Not so much.
But I mean, teaching and cooking is 2 different things.
But I do occasionally cook at home. When I do cook, it's typically because, you know, either I got a cool recipe that I want to try out, or sometimes I'm just inspired. There's sometimes I'll leave the kitchen and maybe I fumbled something in the kitchen, and now I'm pissed off and I need to do it again. So I go home and do it again.
So they're guinea pigs. You're not really cooking from passion and love.
No, it depends. It depends on the time. It depends on the space, for sure. I cook. And then also, you know, the holidays are coming up, so I cook at home. You know, I cook for the family sometimes. Whenever we can get together, you know, my parents, my brother, I try to cook for them because I know they appreciate it.
Favorite dish?
It varies. It varies on the week. You know, it really does. Like, my mom loves the seafood chowder that I do.
Seafood chowder.
Yeah.
Okay. White chowder or red chowder?
It's a white chowder.
Okay. Is there such thing as a red chowder? Did I f that out?
No, there are red chowders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There are red chowders for sure. Yeah, so it depends. Right now, I'm on tuna bowls. The client I have now, I just made him a seared tuna bowl, and he loved it. He wants it again. So.
And you have celebrity clients.
I got a couple clients.
Oh, wait, hold up. Don't be humble. First of all, let's talk about these edges, though, because you know I'm a queen of edges. Yes, auntie, lay to the gods. Did you do that for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we are going to be going into the kitchen. A lot of my questions, because I know we have a lot of prep time and stuff we're going to be doing in the kitchen, so a lot of my questions are going to be in there, and we're going to definitely dive a little bit. And of course, for our viewers, if you have any questions for her, make sure you guys tune in so that you guys can ask her questions. We have some holiday questions for you.
For sure.
So do you remember, hold on. So you remember on Instagram, right?
You put your stuff down there.
I had to put my stuff down. So you remember on Instagram, right? When you had put a post and you was like, oh, I'm getting me a custom made apron for my TV Takeover show.
Right.
Excuse me. So I have a little surprise for you.
Oh.
Remember the surprise I was telling you guys about? I got my own little custom made.
Okay.
Just for you. Bam! Y'all ain't ready. So I'm ready for the kitchen. Are you ready for the kitchen?
Yeah, I'm all ready.
Episode 7.
Okay,
So I'm gonna have all our panelists sign on it.
Awesome, that's
so that
dope.
they can get some love. You're gonna get to take it home.
I
So
love it.
that's the
Thank
gift
you.
for you.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I love it, for
So
sure.
I know you got some prepping to do. You got my little rainbow colors.
I like that.
So speaking of rainbow colors,
Oh God.
do you like rainbow colors?
I do. I love all colors.
You do?
I love all colors.
What about rainbow colors you like?
I love all colors.
Yeah? Which
Yeah,
one
for
of the
sure.
rainbow colors do you appreciate the most?
Oh.
Say yellow.
I guess it's the yellow one.
It's yellow. All right, so listen, so I'm gonna
I
do
like that Kitchen Killa red too.
You
though.
like that?
That's Kitchen Killa red.
Kitchen Killa red?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, so we have I'm gonna introduce the audience a little bit to our influencer panelists.
Cool.
We actually have some pretty heavy hitters.
I see that. I'm excited.
You don't brought.
I didn't bring that. My team brought that. I didn't. I knew nothing about that. You know.
So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go ahead and put your apron on, get yourself all prepared.
Thank you.
Roll up your sleeves, and then we're gonna be over there in a second. I'm gonna put my apron on, and then we're gonna.
Are you coming to cook too?
I'm not cooking, but I'm gonna drink and watch you cook.
With the apron on.
With the apron on.
Oh, so you're fake cooking too.
Fake cooking.
Gotcha.
I'm okay with fake cooking.
Okay, that's cool. That's
All right,
fine.
and you know what's awesome, and I appreciate it because you know I'm a pescatarian, and we have one of our panelists that are pescatarian as well. So not only are you going to be doing a dish for the non-pescatarian people, but
the carnivores.
For the carnivores, for us as well. So I'm super excited, guys. Stay tuned. Now remember, this is live. So we gonna transition and do some stuff, and I don't know how it's gonna work out. Your shit was tacky. All right, give me some love. I see you in the kitchen.
All right.